What is going on, guys? It's Nick from Surfcasting the Island back at you with another video. This week's topic of discussion is going to be the 2021 season reflection. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off with the spring run, which pretty much lasts in the southwest Nassau area where I live, is pretty much anywhere from late March, depending on what kind of winter we had and how long it takes to heat up, all the way until I'd say the end of June, beginning of July, the latest, if we have a delayed season. It was mediocre. Not a lot of big bass from my area. You get the teen size fish up to 34, 35 inches, but nothing massive. I know the guys out west, Staten Island and all those guys killed big fish all during April and metal lip swimmers and daughters, and that was the type of deal further west. I was absorbed in the little neck bite in April. Not a lot of big fish on my end, although there were some reports of decent teen size fish. My biggest was probably 30 inches, if that. The real consistent action, in my opinion, didn't show its face until, let's say, the blues showed up. Typically, we get a good bluefish run in the South Nassau area. That bite started, mid-May, early May, and lasted until probably last week of June, first week of July, I'd say. All on tins and, poppers, anything. You could have thrown anything at them from all the way from Rockaway east to Jones. We had a really good run of bluefish. Nothing big, really, in my opinion. I'd say the biggest I caught, if that, was 11, 12 pounds. And like I said, the bass weren't that big. I mean, the bass were anywhere between 10 and 15 pounds for my area. I'd also say something about this season as a whole, the spring and the fall combined. I made connections with new friends. I made new friends in the community that are also surfcasters. It's a very small, tight-knit community from what I've seen. And I appreciate all these guys that I've, got the opportunity to fish with the first time, and many more to come. It's always, you share a common bond with someone, and that's the majority of what your friend group is going to be composed of, if you will. Moving on to the fall, I'd say the biggest upset of the fall, in my opinion, and most people would agree with me, was that the sand eels never really showed in my area. There was a lack of them. I believe, well, not even believe or speculate, you should say, that they were deeper. They never came in shallow to the surf line. That's why we didn't really have that good of a bite on tens. Not a very consistent bite in one area, since the sand eels tend to stay around for a longer period of time, as opposed to a big body bait like bunker that move up and down the beach within a day or two. You'll have a bite there one day, and the next day that bite will be done. It'll be dissipated. It'll be on to the next beach, the next beach, the next beach down west, because they're traveling that way for the most part. So yeah, the fall was mainly a bunker bite. In my opinion, the herring did show up, so we did have a bite that lasted a week, if that. Week and a half, and it was all decent sized fish from what I heard and what I've seen. My biggest period this year in the fall was, I wouldn't say anything over 20 pounds. Same thing, all the bass I caught were between 15 and 20 pounds. There were reports of bluefish late in the fall, which is rather unusual. Around late November, early December, there were reports of bluefish when they were pretty much unheard of from the October all the way through November span. But again, that was my input on the season. I wouldn't have changed anything different per se in what I did. Going back and rewinding to the spring, the main, because I didn't mention what type of bait we mostly had in the area, but I'd say rain bait, spearing. We did have a little bit of squid as well, and that was pretty much, the lion's share of what was around in the spring. And like I said, in the fall, it was mainly the herring, the bunker. We did have a little bit of rain bait, but those big body baits were around and pretty abundant. There were some, you know, from what I've heard and what my friends have caught, they've pulled fish into, you know, the 40-pound class, which is not uncommon for that time of year either, but it does come with a lot of time, a lot of dedication. You know, I lost a couple big fish this fall, and regardless of of any time of year, you know, every big fish you catch and every big fish you lose is a lesson. You know, I've straightened hooks out on big fish. That taught me to use better hooks. I've snapped big fish off. That taught me to tie better knots. So, you know, that's my input on the season. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow my public Instagram page at surfcasting_the_island. I am more than stoked for the spring of 22 and what that has to offer. Hopefully lots of big fish and a very big abundance of them. So without further ado, you know, have a good day. Happy holidays, like I mentioned in my previous video, and tune in next time.